Hi everyone, thank you so much for coming back for another video. My name is Laura Vogel if you haven't been to my channel before. My videos are focused on fashion, entrepreneurship, modeling, and traveling. And today I'm so excited to make a video that I've been wanting to make. I get a ton of questions about this topic, so I'm really excited to dive into it more. Today's video is about how to launch a business online. This is really more tailored towards business owners who are selling a physical product from their home or a small warehouse, receiving orders online, packing and shipping that order to your customer, also promoting your products through social media as your main channel. So I know that's a lot of businesses in today's day and age, especially for my generation. So I'm super excited to get into this and kind of talk about my experience with launching a business online. So for those of you who don't know, I started a handbag brand when I was 21, living in Milan, Italy. I'm from Denver. I'm based in Denver, Colorado, but I was actually studying abroad in Milan. And I self-funded it. I designed all of my products. I launched everything online. I did all of my social media, all my marketing, all my email newsletters. I personally packed and shipped every single order that went out. I did over $50,000 in sales during my first year of my business. I launched my brand in February of 2020, so that $50,000 also happened during the peak pandemic year, and it wasn't really even a full year. I launched in February, but with the pandemic all happening in February, March, April, I really started going in on it and selling and being consistent in maybe May or June. So it was really about 6 or 7 months that I was actively selling, actively pushing my product, actively growing my business, and I did over $50,000 in sales totally on my own. So I definitely feel like I have some good advice. You know, I frequently turn to YouTube videos to figure out how to do things and how to teach myself things, and I just wish there were more transparent videos for small business owners. I think a lot of the videos are like, do these 2 simple things and you'll have a successful business, but that's just not the reality of the situation. And I promised myself that when I made my YouTube channel, I would really make the content that I wish I saw on the internet. So I'm doing that for you guys today. I really hope this video is helpful. If you like this video, if you find value in this video, please do me a favor and subscribe to my channel, like this video, leave a comment, ask questions, anything that I missed or any other topics that you find interesting, leave a comment below and I will answer, make a video on that topic, etc. I would say that these 6 tips that I have written down are like will help you build a strong foundation with what you're doing, and then you'll learn and pivot and stay true to your brand as you grow. Okay, so tip 1 is choosing the right online platform. So I launched my business on Shopify. I looked at WooCommerce, Squarespace, and Shopify, and WooCommerce honestly was a little bit intimidating because I didn't have a WordPress blog, and from my understanding, WooCommerce is very tied into WordPress, and I just wasn't there yet. I genuinely think that Squarespace and Shopify are pretty similar when it comes to like capabilities and stuff, and I think which one you choose really depends on your preferences and kind of also the structure of your business. I went back and forth between the 2 because Squarespace is a much more beautiful website layout with better blogging capabilities. Shopify, on the other hand, if you're selling a lot and if you're selling different styles, different sizes, different colors, international shipping, refunding, Shopify payments, those types of things, Afterpay, Shopify is so easy to use if you're selling a lot of product or you want to. Shopify is so easy to integrate with Facebook, Pinterest, email newsletter, marketing platforms, refunding clients, partially refunding clients. I just thought everything with Shopify was so easy. I've never had a problem with it. The only thing that I really wish Shopify would just improve on is their blogging layout. I learned about 6 months in that blogging is so important for SEO, and I really started working on that. But their blogging layout, when you add images throughout the blog, and somebody, if you know the secret and I'm doing it wrong, let me know. But it's, to put it simply, it's so ugly, and I didn't feel like it represented the caliber of my brand and what I was selling. So I struggled with that, but everything else was great. Have a good, easy to use website, and make sure that it's easy to navigate, it's easy for customers to know what they're looking at, what the story is of your brand. Everything is about telling a story. So have a good e-commerce platform, a strong landing page, a good about page. You need high quality photos of your product. You really, really do. Product descriptions, easy to navigate checkout as well. Just help your customers get through the funnel as easily as possible, and you will see higher sales. Okay, tip number 2 is you have to have a good product. And I know that this might sound like a no-brainer, but I can't believe sometimes what people are actually selling online and how it doesn't look like the photos and it doesn't match the description. You've all seen the videos, what I ordered online versus what I got. As a business owner, at least this is how I look at it, I am exchanging somebody's hard-earned money for my product. I never want somebody to feel like they didn't get what they paid for, or that they were lied to, or false advertising. I never ever want that to happen, and that's why I prototyped for so long, because I knew I needed a good product. And my clients that have purchased bags over 2 years ago are still using those exact bags because they're high quality. Of course, things break, they're handmade. There's a few bags here and there that aren't 100% up to caliber. I do the best that I can to go through all of my inventory and weed those ones out. There are rare occasions where something gets shipped out that just wasn't of the highest quality, and then that's also my responsibility to fix that and to right that wrong, refund them, send a replacement, do whatever I can to make sure that my customer feels seen and valued and taken care of. I used to work at Nordstrom, and that is what their entire business is built on, is customer service. And I genuinely see customer service and the whole client experience as part of the product. So yeah, maybe they bought it online and their product delivered, but if your customer is reaching out to you and has questions, concerns, that's also part of my product and my brand. That's the whole experience that they have with my brand. So you need to have a good product, but you also need to have a strong customer experience. I take care of all of my customer support and, you know, client services and returns, exchanges, refunds. I'm the one that responds to all of those emails and does all of those things. You know, some people outsource customer service. I think that can be tricky if you're trying to create a very specific brand message. The more you involve third parties, the more diluted that becomes. So however you want to do it, but having a strong product that people love and are going to recommend to their friends through word of mouth organically, and they're going to come back and purchase more from you. And I know that I am charging people money, their hard-earned money, for my product. So I need to stand behind that personally, and I know that that's part of what's made my brand so successful. My third tip is, it is so important nowadays, it's literally a no-brainer to have a strong social media presence. I think that social media can sometimes be a barrier to entry for founders or hopeful founders. I think social media is really intimidating, especially for my mentors and women in my network who are in their 40s and 50s and 60s and don't really know how to use social media. And I totally get that. It's like a foreign language, and there's so much going on. There's so many updates. There's so many rules and trends and all this stuff, and it's overwhelming. And the different platforms, it's a lot, and it's intimidating, and I totally understand that. And then I also think that there's a huge pressure of having as many followers as possible, and I definitely felt that way for a while, that I needed to have like 100,000 followers or 10,000 followers. I only have like 2,700 followers on my Instagram for my business, and I was selling out of product. Even though it was a smaller number of followers, they're so engaged. And I know that because when I was seeing orders come through on Shopify, it was the names of people that were following me on Instagram. Like I said, I launched my brand in February of 2020. So all of the in-person marketing that I had planned and conceptualized was out the door within 2 weeks because of the pandemic. And I shifted everything to online influencer marketing, mainly through Instagram. I completely grew my business that way for well over a year, and it was through influencers and influencer marketing. Seriously, 100%. And I tried doing Facebook ads and Facebook advertising, which includes Instagram advertising. I did see ROI here and there, but seriously, influencer marketing, if you have a product that's, you know, geared towards men or women that are on Instagram, fashion, skincare, beauty, athleisure, travel, all of these things that are so Instagrammable, and now TikTok and YouTube, it is the best way and the most direct way to reach your potential new customers. I couldn't believe it when I did my first few influencer campaigns, and I could literally make a whole hour-long video about influencer marketing, and I'm sure that would be helpful, so let me know if you guys would want to watch that. But I'll just briefly say influencer marketing isn't black and white. There were so many times where I got in touch with influencers that I loved and followed myself and really looked up to, and they're great and they have hundreds of thousands of followers, but they, first of all, are so expensive to work with. So that's a really big gamble if you're gonna put your marketing dollars towards that, and if you don't have a lot of marketing dollars, which I don't. But when you get someone that has that many followers, hundreds of thousands of followers, there is the potential issue that they post so many brands that my brand would just get lost in the shuffle and nobody would really see it. Whereas these girls that have 10,000, 7,000, 14,000, 20,000, and they're so much cheaper to work with, and I can work with them over and over, their followers are so much more engaged with them. Sometimes, I would say kind of most of the time, but really you have to do your research before you just say, yeah, I'm gonna pay you $6,000 to post on Instagram with my product. It's not always what it seems. There's also Instagram influencers where 65% of their following are men, and that's not my customer. So I don't want to put my money there if I can put my money over here and have a much more direct impact. So that's as deep as I'll get in this video, but it's not cut and dry, it's not black and white, but it is, once you figure out how to do it, it's so valuable. I grew my Instagram so quickly through that. I sold out of product over and over again because of that. The other part of that is once you have an influencer or an ad that you're running be seen on social media and people are clicking on it, you then have to have a strong Instagram page or TikTok or Facebook or Pinterest or whatever this is that you're using to then convince people to go through the process and spend their money on your product. And that means having high quality images. Like, you can't have these blurry, low quality images. There's so much competition out there. It's just, you're shooting yourself in the foot if you don't have high quality images and videos. I paid photographers for occasional shoots, and I also took a lot of photos myself. Literally an iPhone will do it, but just making sure that you're consistent, you have good photos, you're telling a story, you're showing the product, you're showing the uses of your product, you're showing the quality, you're showing how it's made, you're showing why you did it. There's also amazing marketing agencies that will do your social media for you if you provide the content, or however you want to outsource that. I did everything myself, but there's a lot of options, and you really can't have an online business without investing time and resources into your social media. Pinterest is amazing for website traffic. I've heard people say this and I love this tip. Pinterest is the only social media that people visit with the intention of being redirected to a website. So if you have a strong Pinterest, you will have website traffic almost always, but it again requires consistency, and it's a lot of SEO keyword searching. I took a course by Sophia Lee, I'll put her name right here, and that changed my whole perspective on Pinterest. It was really helpful. The other thing that I found success with was TikTok. I finally got the confidence to put myself out there and do speaking videos like this about my brand. And there's been videos where I've done over $6,000 in sales from one video because people are going to my website because of what I said and the story I told. So it really all goes back to telling a story and selling that story, but in an authentic way. Tip number 4 is you need to have a strong email newsletter marketing platform that you're using. The top most popular one that I see is MailChimp. It's very basic, but it requires, in most scenarios, image files to put into MailChimp, which means you're in Canva or Photoshop creating an image file that you'll then upload into Photoshop over and over and over again. And if you are really well versed in Photoshop, that's great. It looks amazing if you know how to do it. But if you've made your whole email and then you have to edit a typo or something, you have to go back into the image file and edit the typo or edit the imaging or edit the alignment, and then you have to save that image, and then you have to go back to MailChimp and upload the images. Do you know what I mean? It's so many steps. I actually use Flowdesk, and maybe some of you have heard of it. What's so easy about Flowdesk and then again Shopify is within Flowdesk, I'm able to create that pop-up. So when you go to my website, after like 3 seconds, it says subscribe to our email list and get 20% off if you subscribe. That pop-up that you get on a lot of websites, anyone that enters their email there feeds into my Flowdesk email subscriber list. It doesn't even go to Shopify. So that's a Flowdesk function that integrates into Shopify. It's amazing, it's the best. And so all of my subscribers then go into a list on Flowdesk, and I have an automated welcome series. So I have my new subscribers, they get an email every few days with, you know, brand information and the story and how to style it and things like that. And then once they're out of that welcome sequence, they feed into the regular sequence and they start just receiving the emails that I send out. There's so many different layout templates that you can use for each block of your email. So every email can look so different just based on what you pick. And then you just upload your images, create your copy, change the fonts, change the colors, change the buttons, add your links. So easy. I'm probably never gonna change unless something happens, but Flowdesk, I would highly, highly recommend it. I'll see if I can put a link below for a referral. I know that it helps with pricing for the person that's referred, so I'll see if I can do that. As a founder, as a business owner, you have to keep in mind that everything people see of your brand affects the way that they perceive your brand and what you're selling and what you're doing. And so everything that I ever send out, I really care about, I really put time into, and I make sure that it aligns with my brand. One thing that I do is I subscribe to brands that I like and admire, and also competitors. I subscribe to their email list just to see like their frequency, their cadence, what it looks like, their promo cadence, things like that. I just love seeing what other brands are doing and, you know, what their marketing looks like. So if you're not really sure where to start, I would go to the brands that you like and you look up to, even if it's not a direct competitor, and just see what they're doing, because all you can do is learn. Okay, these next two are kind of logistical, which, to be fully transparent, are the parts of having my own business that I don't love. Tip number 5 is you need to have a shipping process in place. You need to know your costs, you need to have packaging figured out. You need to have a return policy, you need to have an international shipping policy, all of these things if you're running your own e-commerce business. I ship everything from my house, so I don't have a warehouse where things are stored and orders are being processed. I literally receive every single order, package every single package, and drop off every single shipment. And I also handle every single return and all of those things. So what I decided to do from day one was include shipping in my price. So my customers never pay for shipping unless it's express, 2-day, overnight, or international. Anything that's domestic standard shipping is free. That was really something I decided to do based on my own consumer behavior. I hate paying for shipping. If I'm buying an $80 sweater and shipping is $15, that like puts such a bad taste in my mouth. And I know that a lot of other people feel that way. So what I did was I got a FedEx business account, and they give you a really good rate on domestic shipping, especially when you hit a certain quantity threshold of like number of shipments per year, I think. So my shipping is really not that expensive at all, but it's built into my cost so that I don't have to worry about not charging for shipping. Again, the only times I charge for it are if it's 2-day, overnight, or international, and I have that explicitly listed on my website. With shipping, I think this is where like the biggest hiccups have happened for me personally. One, shipping all of my products to Denver from Italy. All of my products are handmade in Italy, and then they're shipped in big boxes via air to my house in Denver, and I have to pay for that shipping, and I have to pay for customs. And there have been times, especially during COVID, where my shipments were stuck in customs for quite some time. But then shipping those products to my customer in California, Chicago, Texas, New York. I also have a lot of clients in Australia, New Zealand, Canada, Germany, Spain. I have clients in Israel, Portugal, the whole nine. So what I do, I work with a fully sustainable and recycled packaging company in Colorado. I select my quantity based on what I know is coming. I always try to be over prepared, because if I'm sitting on inventory and then I don't have packaging, I can't get it out and I can't sell it. So I order my boxes. So I just have brown cardboard boxes, and then I have stickers with my branding on it that I put on the box, and then I wrap the bag in its dust bag and then recycled newspaper. And then I have a twine that goes around it, and then I have cards that have branding and a story and a thank you note. As a founder, you also have to realize that if your brand is totally online, the first physical contact your customer has with your brand is your packaging. Shipping was really bad during COVID, and it's still not great, but it's getting better. But just knowing how to handle those situations, knowing how you're going to charge your customers for shipping, if you're going to charge them for shipping, if you're not, what does that look like for you financially? Just having all of those things figured out, because once you have a policy in place and people become familiar with it, it's kind of tough and not a great look to keep changing it. And also just making sure, again, same thing as having a good product, that your customers' experience with your brand is as simple, seamless, and easy as possible, so that they want to keep shopping with you. My sixth and final tip is, as you launch your business online, it's so crucial to understand sales tax, taxes, etc. And for most people, this is a really intimidating part of starting a business. For me, it definitely was. I am a finance major. I really feel like I have a good understanding of finance and the finance in business, and that has really helped me be successful, I think, in this space. But the thing that I didn't really understand is sales tax. And when you're running a business online and you're selling from one state, you really need to understand when you're supposed to charge sales tax and when you're not. And it took me a minute to figure it out, and I wasn't selling millions of dollars, so it wasn't the end of the world, but I ended up working with a local tax accountant. That is an area that you just don't want to mess up, you don't want to mess with. So It's been really valuable for me to have someone that I can talk to about it, and someone I can call, and someone that helps me with my taxes, because that is just an area of business that I'm not super familiar with. I definitely am more now than I was. So just make sure, if you don't know what you're doing, it really won't hurt to reach out to somebody that does know what they're doing. See what you can find, see who's in your area that's willing to help you, or if you know someone that's really great with finance and sales tax and business taxes, that's amazing too. If you have a registered LLC, that's something you need to have figured out pretty quickly. So those are really my 6 main tips. I sat down and I was like, okay, what are the things that I wish I would have known more about, or I wish someone would have told me? Because starting a business, taking it from idea to selling your product to people is such a hard jump to make, and there's so many moving pieces involved with that, and I just wish I had more resources online that were authentic and, you know, transparent. And like I said in the beginning, if this was helpful for you, please do me a favor and like this video, subscribe to my channel. If you know someone that's starting a business, go ahead and share this with them. Follow me on Instagram here, follow my handbag brand here. If there's any topics that came up during this video that you wish I would elaborate on, please comment below and I'll make another video about that. Thank you so much for watching. If you're planning on starting a business or you hope to start a business one day, I wish you the best of luck. It has made me so much more confident, it's enriched my life, and I've met really amazing people through the process, and there's nothing that I regret or that I would take back. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.